Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.
What's going on, everybody? Man, Eric Wilson in for the Sports Arena. And listen, it is a beautiful time to be a fan from the 215 because the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl 59 champion Philadelphia Eagles now have the blueprint for the 2025 season. And what I mean by that is not only did we take care of our head coach and give him a contract extension, but we also got to look at what our 2025-2026 season is going to look like. Now, you know I can't do this by myself, but there is someone who I truly admire because when it comes to Philly, there are very few people who understand and get my intensity, my love, and most importantly, the passion that I bring when talking about him. So, you know, I had to go out and get the left coast, the west coast. No, sorry, not Michael Carrots Nudo. I had to get the Blonde Blitz, Miss Deb Whitcas, in the building, back joining me for this conversation, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles 2025 NFL schedule. Deb, what is going on? How are you?
I'm like, good, go Birds. Let's do this.
Yes, go Birds, baby. This is amazing. All right, before we get to the schedule, because there is a lot to dive into.
A lot to talk about.
Let's talk about first our head coach, Nick Sirianni, getting the contract extension. And I believe this is running him through 2031.
That's insane. That's an insane multi-year contract.
Yes.
And the fact that, you know, at the end of last year, not the last season, but the season before 2023, you know, his job was in jeopardy. We weren't really sure where the problem was. The Eagles started out 10-1 and then, you know, just crashed at the end of the season there and everybody was depressed. And we were like, is it Nick Sirianni? Is it Jalen Hurts? Like, you know, what exactly is going on here? And then, you know, the fact the next season, then they won a Super Bowl.
In just true fashion.
Yeah, right. And like really won a Super Bowl.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
As we have all seen. But,
right.
You know,
so give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he wasn't not going to get a contract extension. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, he's coming off of a Super Bowl win. I mean, he's got a 48-20 regular season record. He's gotten the Eagles into the playoffs 4 times with 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 Super Bowl victory. He's got a postseason record of 6-3. Yeah, I mean, of course he's going to get an extension. Like, so I think they did the right thing. He's very well liked too. Philly likes him. The players seem to really like him. You know, we had that one bad press conference when he first was hired 4 years ago, sure, but like everyone's forgotten about that by this point. And yeah, I think, you know, he speaks well. He's very well liked in the NovaCare Center and, you know, at the link. So let's go. Let's win some more, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Here is my thing though, and as people will tell you, and you even know this, when he first showed up in Philadelphia, let me be very clear, and everybody who has watched this show knows I was not a fan just because of how he represented himself and how I thought he was going to be. And I'll be the first to admit I was wrong because seeing what he has done as the head coach of the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, and as you said, going back and looking over his record as a head coach in the National Football League, which is held by 32 men in the industry total. He is a guy who has come in and in his, I guess, rookie contract, if you will, has produced to the point where, like you said, we are moving past those obstacles and those issues that we had before with him and saying, okay, if this is the product that Nick Sirianni, as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, is going to put out on our field each and every week and each and every season, okay, then yeah, there are going to be moments where things might not go the way we want them to go. However, look at what has transpired. 10-1 last year and high hopes of what potentially 2 seasons ago now, what potentially could have been and the collapse that you spoke of, to then week 5, and let this marinate for a minute. Week 5 this past season was our bye week. We were 2-2.
Yep.
And then it was like the light bulb came on, the handcuffs were taken off, and we
chills.
were all gas, no brakes.
Yep, exactly. Whatever happened over that bye week obviously worked. So
yeah.
Oh, sorry guys. Noli.
Hey,
Noli agrees.
Noli agrees. Noli agrees. All right. So we now go, as I like to say, we go from being the hunter to being the hunted. And this schedule, can I just say this schedule, I like it for most of the season.
It's not an easy schedule.
Well, I mean, I expect that though.
Of course, you do.
When you're the Super Bowl champion,
you should get
it doesn't matter who we're playing. We're going to get everybody's best. Now, you and I have looked at this, and I'm saying, I know you have said 5 previously. I'm saying 6 primetime matchups. But can I just say this before we even get started?
Respect,
let's talk about
respect, right?
No, respect. Let's talk about week 1. Okay.
Let's do it.
Kind of
wanted to see KC in week 1. I have to be honest. I wanted a Super Bowl rematch. They would have
I wanted Washington. I wanted Washington week 1.
Okay.
But here's my thing. I want to know that Jerry Jones convinced the NFL to make this game happen. Because Dallas ain't been relevant since we was in high school.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they get the home. They get to be on the glitz and the glamour. Tell Noli I'm sorry for talking about Dallas. But how does Dallas get night 1? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like open up the season. I'm like, Jerry, what did you do to get this one done?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't shocked. I was like, okay, everyone loves a good rivalry. Let's be honest. Like, Dallas is the number 1 rivals of the Eagles, or the Eagles are the number 1 rivals of Dallas. Not quite sure there. But, yeah, I mean, I still wanted to see KC. But, no, I agree. I was a little shocked. But it's always, a good butt whipping is always good for the first game, right?
I get it. But I mean, Dallas gets to come to Philadelphia night 1. They get to see us drop the banner. And of course, as you and I both know, all the Cowboy fans who we ain't heard from since last December are now saying, oh, we're going to rain on your parade and we're going to do this. And I've heard all the talk from Cowboy fans. And I'm like, where have y'all been the last 5 months? Because I ain't seen, sniffed, heard, smelled none of y'all.
Nothing. Even with Parsons getting an extension last week or last couple of days ago, like nothing. I haven't heard a thing. Yeah, no one's talking. Even I used to get text all the time from all my Dallas friends. One time I was so mad I started cursing at everybody and screaming at everybody. Like we lost and they were like blah 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 blah, and I literally was like F you, blah, blah, like, which I don't say. And yeah, no, nothing. They're silent. I mean, yeah.
But I'm just like, come on now. This is what we doing.
What has Dallas done besides extend Micah Parsons? What have they done during the offseason? They didn't do anything last season either, to be honest. They did nothing in the offseason. That's why they had a horrible record this season.
Listen, with that team, I could care less. We're going to move on because so Dallas is out the way. But then, we go to Arrowhead for the Super Bowl rematch.
And Kansas City is going to be hungry.
And everybody's already predicting that game to be a loss for us. I've seen all the media pundits out there. I've seen so many people out there who have said that Philly is going to dominate week 1 and then be brought back down to earth week 2 in the Super Bowl rematch. And I'm like,
we were supposed to lose the Super Bowl too. Everybody picked Kansas City, every single person. And I knew when we were there was no way the Eagles were giving this one up. Like, the Eagles were so prepped and they were so ready and they were so locked in, just from media availability and all the interviews that we both did. Like, they were locked in, and Kansas City was just kind of there, and it showed on the field.
Right. For them, it seems like it was business as usual. And it's like, no, for us, it was like, no, we taking this one. But again, I go back to what I said when we were in New Orleans. I go back to this, and I'm continually going to use this until otherwise proven wrong. The very first time we played New England in 2004, that season in Jacksonville, we lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots. We had to wait 14 years to get that rematch. But when we did, with Nick Foles as our backup, we won that game. So when Jalen and Patrick first met 4 seasons ago, 3-4 seasons ago, again, great game, we lost. We didn't have to wait that long to get the rematch. And when we got the rematch, what happened? We took them boys to the woodshed. It was done before it even started. So
third quarter still in the zeros.
Yeah.
Wild.
I can't tell you. I mean, listen, everybody, like on my feeds and social media, it's like at least once a day, I'm watching either the Cooper DeJean
of course.
pick 6, or I'm watching Jalen throw the dart to Devontae Smith. One of those two is coming across my feed at least once a day.
I agree with you. I was watching Cooper DeJean doing the new podcast today too, a little bit. Like these boys are like hyping it up as they should be.
Exactly. Where's he from? Odebo? Is that where he's from? Odebo?
I don't know.
I think that's how you say it. But yeah, they are just, listen, congrats to him. Congrats on his new podcast. But that brother, look, he as a rookie, he showed up. But I mean, the target is definitely on him because now coaches have tape. All right, so we're at that. So now we come back to Philadelphia for the divisional round matchup, which was against the Rams. And the Rams, I've had Rams fans reach out to me like, if it didn't snow, we were going to take you. Okay, guys, can we snow? Mother Nature, everything there is a part. It factors in.
It's the way.
At the end of the day, we won. Y'all lost. Move past it. So they come into the link.
That one.
Right. They come into the link mad as hell. They come into the link hungry to put something on us.
Yeah, they were also coming with the fires too. Like they had all of LA on their back on that one, which was
they
difficult.
did.
It was a difficult position for myself to be in, just because obviously I was there, and also just living in LA and having all my friends, not all of my friends, but several of my friends lose their houses, and it was a really tough time. But I was like, and for that game, I was like, whoever plays a better game is going to win this, and that's who's supposed to win. So yeah,
right.
That's how I kind of work that in my mind.
And then after that, they come down here to Tampa to face the Bucs, a team that listen, I think you have the same cast of characters. I like Baker too. I think Baker's great. I don't understand, but you're talking about Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. It's September. It's going to be hot. It's a 1:00 game. So that if you are not properly hydrated on that field or in that stadium, it's going to be ridiculous. Not to mention, last time that, one of the few times, most recently, that Philly came to Tampa, which was Jason Kelsey's last game.
Right.
It was just a debacle.
Yeah.
So, of course, Eagles are looking to get back to that.
Mm-hmm. I almost went to that game too. Thank God I didn't, because I had COVID.
I was there.
Not going. Oh, you were there. Of course you were.
Oh, I was there for that game. Let me tell you, it was very disheartening to walk out of Raymond James, because when Tampa fans win, they're okay to deal with.
Right.
Okay.
They're a little rowdy.
They are rowdy.
Yeah. I saw
but when they win in the fashion that they did that year in the playoffs, it was unbearable. Like, I just had to walk out of that stadium because I was like, yo, I'm fitting to get handcuffed to somebody, because I'm like,
it's not worth it.
Then everybody want to fight.
Worth it.
Yeah. All right. So here is what I'm going to say. Just take the month of September and those 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like I'm looking at a 3-1 record.
Mm-hmm.
For the month of September. That's what I'm saying. Because as much as it pains me to say this, I really believe that the game that we could potentially lose is the Rams game.
Do you think so?
I do.
I don't know. Why do you think that? I mean, I don't know. Puka Nacua. I love me some Puka Nacua. But I mean, God, with Cooper Kupp gone, I don't know.
But how much did he play last season?
He played
And I mean,
enough.
he was effective.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not get it twisted. Cooper Kupp is an effective wide receiver in the league. I just feel like
Stafford's kind of on his way out too.
Yeah, but he wants revenge. I think more so than Patrick. I think more so than Patrick. I think he wants that game back. Right. He wants another shot.
That's true.
At the Eagles. And so that's why I feel like in the month of September, we beat Dallas. We find a way to win against Kansas City. I think the game against the Rams is going to be a very truth-telling game for us. And then we bounce back and come down here to the 8-1-3 and we beat Tampa.
Yeah. Is Godwin's back in? I know he was injured most of last season.
I think Godwin, I have to check the stats, but I'm pretty sure Godwin will be good to go for that game. I really do.
Yeah, now, he's a powerhouse. So
right. I will say this about the month of October. The month of October, I'm going to be the first one to say it. We're going undefeated the month of October because we got Denver at home.
Right. Giants, we have the Giants again, don't we?
Twice.
Which is weird, right? Like, that's weird that we're playing
to play them back to back like that. It's like Denver, Giants, Minnesota, Giants.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird. We've got that. Yeah, we've got the month of October. Absolutely. There's no way the Giants will beat the Eagles. There's no way. Although I do think they won the draft. I have to say, I love love Abdul Carter, and I love the Jackson Dart. As you know, because you were with me at Combine. You saw how much I was like Jackson Dart. So yeah, but there's no way.
And the fact that the Giants came back up into the first round to get him, so they are putting a lot on this. You don't think so?
You don't think?
You think all right? So you think Russell's going to play, or Jameis is going to play, or
yeah? Okay. I think Jackson Dart's going to sit the bench for a majority of the season, if not all of it.
All right.
That's my thought.
I'll be curious to see who starts then between Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. I mean, of course,
I think it'll be Russell.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if Jameis has those moments where we've known him to have,
true. That's true.
He might produce something that Brian Daboll may look and say, well, we might want to throw Jameis in here. Because here's the thing. I want to go back, and I know I got to look in our history books. I am curious to see what Jameis's record is against Philadelphia. I believe, and I don't know this to be the case, so don't quote me on this, but I think he has a winning record against our defense.
Okay.
So I would have to go back and look at that to see. No, not this defense, but just in general.
This defense? Yeah.
All right.
Under Vic Fangio defense? Just saying.
You're right. I'm going to fall back on that one. But our bye week comes the middle of
thank goodness
this season. Do you so you say that's a good thing?
I think it's a good thing. Yeah, I think it's a halfway. I mean, I always know when even in my own life, I get burnt out halfway, and I'm like, all right, halfway more to go. And yeah, I think it's a good thing. The schedule, I think, gets tougher after the bye week, though. I think that's going to be. We play the Commanders twice, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Yeah. But yeah,
the second half of our schedule
and the Bills. The Commanders and the Bills, the second half is...
The second half of our schedule does not fare well with us. And it starts with us going to Lambeau in November for a Monday Night Football matchup. So this is where I have reservations about our schedule. Because we are, for the most part, the month of October, we're on the East Coast. We have to go to Minnesota, but that's fine. Then we're home against the Giants, and then we have our bye. So here's the thing. We go to Green Bay. Then we're back home for Detroit. Then we go to Dallas.
Too. Detroit, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Everyone thought Detroit was going to take it last season, and they obviously didn't, and injuries plagued, but they could bounce back.
11 guys were out for the Detroit defense, and they still found a way to make it to the divisional round of the NFC. And if Washington wasn't Washington, it would have been Detroit, Philly, in the NFC Championship game.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So then we go to Dallas, okay? Then we're back home for Chicago. Then we go, then we come out to your neck of the woods to play the Chargers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's a primetime game too. And the Chargers,
that 5-game stretch.
Yeah, watch out for the Chargers this season. They didn't do well in the playoffs. That one game, definitely everybody was shocked that they lost that game. They're a much better team than what that game showed. But
right.
yeah, I mean, and they're hungry. And Jim Harbaugh, it's his second season as head coach. Justin Herbert, Taylor Heineke, Trey Lance is there now as well. Loud McConkey, I think he's going to shine even more this season. Wow. And they picked up some great wide receivers in the draft, as well as a new running back. So Justin Herbert finally has some people to throw to.
Yeah. But that stretch, those 5 games, I think are going to be, because of the continuous back and forth, I think that's going to play a factor in how we execute our game.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like you said, I guess you can consider the day after Thanksgiving. I guess you could consider that a primetime game. It's a Black Friday game.
Yeah.
But we got a Monday night football game, a Sunday night football game. We play Dallas, a Black Friday Amazon game, and then another Monday night game against the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
So 3, possibly 4 out of the 6 primetime games that we got are all coming in the month of November, beginning of December, and everybody's going to be tuning in. Like, that's the game.
Yeah, that's when like playoffs start to come into picture, and the seeding and everything like that's just such an important month.
Yeah.
So,
but then after that, I will say at least we're on the East Coast for the rest of December, because the Raiders come to us, which I kind of wish it was in Vegas, but I'll get to Allegiant Stadium at one point.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
But I've seen. Listen, I saw the rendering before they even started it. It was I agree, it's beautiful. But then these last 3 games, Washington in Washington, Buffalo in Buffalo,
and
then we're home for the final game against Washington.
Yeah, so Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin are looking pretty darn good.
Oh, and Deebo Samuel, don't forget about him.
Deebo Samuel, right? That's right. Brian Robinson Jr. Watch out for the Commanders, folks.
Yeah.
I hate to say that because they're in our division, but yeah.
Those last 3 games.
That's what I'm the most worried about is the Commanders this season. Not San Fran, not even the Lions.
Who we don't play.
Right.
So you're more worried about Washington than you are about Detroit. That's interesting. Why?
I don't know. I can't. I think Jaden Daniels is even going to be more on fire this season than he was last season. But I mean, Aiden Hutchinson will be back for the Lions, so maybe I should be. I might eat my words, but I'm worried about the Commanders. It'll be the Eagles or us for number 1 NFC East.
The 2 games that concern me the most. One I already talked about. The game against the Rams, which conversely, both these games are in Lincoln Financial.
Mm-hmm.
So my anxiety is not at like a 14. I have it probably like of a 8.5.
Right.
But the game against the Rams and the game against Sunday Night Football against the Lions are the 2 games that have me the most concerned this season. Listen, Washington, New York, Dallas. I always say this. When it comes to division rivals, you throw the rule book, the playbook, and every other book out the window because anything and everything
doesn't matter.
Can and probably will happen.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is what happens on December 20th when we are facing the Commanders for the first time this season, we have a very short attention span because we have to see them in 2 weeks. And I think that game on the 20th is going to determine seeding.
Who's going to, right.
And because if the rule change does get passed with how teams are scheduled or how they're placed, it is truly going to be by your record, not by your division. Because it is proposed this year that, let's just say, we finish 14-3, Washington finishes 13-4, but then you have Tampa who finishes 10-7, and somebody in the West, let's just say the Rams, finish 12-5. Okay. Or the Eagles would still be a higher seed because of their record. They wouldn't automatically drop to the 6 seed or the 5 seed Washington wouldn't drop to the 5 or the 6 because they had one game less. So if that rule passes, I'll be so thankful, because there still will be a division winner. However, if you got 2 teams in a division that are higher than a team that is the only team in their division with the winning record, then that team will be seeded by what their record is, not by the division.
There's some people that are against it. I like the idea, but
I've always felt like that, because look at years past where the Arizonas of the world and Carolinas of the world finished with just above 500 records, and yet a team that was 3 to 4 games record-wise ahead of them had to go to Carolina or go to Arizona, even though they had a better record. I just can't get down like that.
I don't think it's fair either. I agree with you. I like the new seating if it passes. I have a feeling it's not going to, but I could be wrong there too.
I don't know. I
don't know my reasoning behind it, to be honest, but I just don't think they're ready for it. But I would be very happy if it happened. But we also have a really solid team too. So
listen. So I'm glad you said that, because that leads me to this question. Looking at our schedule, and we reserve the right to change our mind as the offseason progresses. But looking at the schedule today, what do you feel our record is going to be?
I knew you were going to say it. I knew I was ready. I think, I'm going to go.
Here, you know what? I'm going to take a real quick break, and I'm going to give you time to decide.
Okay.
All right?
That sounds good.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Hi, my name is Tim Rose. I'm the president and COO of Dolphin Key Worldwide Transportation. Welcome to our new 25,000 square foot facility located in Miami, Florida. For over 25 years, Dolphin Key Transportation has been the choice for discerning travelers who use our services on the East Coast of Florida as well as the West Coast of Florida, and we look forward to servicing you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the sports arena. I got my girl, Deb Whitcas from the Blonde Blitz, who is going to give a pretty early bird prediction of what she thinks our team, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles record, is going to be at the end of the 2025-26 season. So, Deb, welcome back.
Hi.
All right. So I'm going to give you the floor on this one.
I'm going to go 14-3. What do you have?
Wow, 14-3. Okay.
Yeah. I am 15-2. So
no, that's fine. Listen. Yeah. And like I said, you reserve the right to change as the offseason progresses. At some point, I am going to hold your feet to the fire. But 14-3. All right. I looked at it when the schedule came out, and I always try to be unbiased, even though, listen, we love this team. And I mean, they are forever right here on me. I wear the Eagles and my heart on my sleeve.
Yep.
But I have to be honest because of how the schedule was played out, where we're going, the time of year that we're going, who we're playing against. Originally I said 10-7, but after having the conversation with you, I'm going to say 11-6.
Okay. I'm going higher. I went lower. I went lower last season, and I think I went 12-5 last season, and I was wrong. So I'm going higher this year.
You were off by 2 games.
Right.
So I'm saying 11-6.
Okay.
Looking at our schedule, because there's always that one game that we And I think teams do this all the time. Teams will begin to just overthink things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say 11-6. I've got to be realistic. I still feel like that is enough for us to win the division. Just because I don't expect much from the Giants. I don't expect much from the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
The Commanders, they have to play the same teams that we play.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see what this team is capable of. I don't feel like the Hail Mary Chicago game is going to happen again for the Washington Commanders.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that very rarely happens. I mean,
exactly.
That's insane to watch.
So as this team begins to show itself, and as we begin to start this season, give me some of your thoughts as far as what you're kind of looking at with regards to our run to a possible another Super Bowl championship.
I mean, I think it's a really good possibility. I mean, I think again, I think it's gonna be Eagles, Lions, Commanders. Maybe even Chargers in there, possibly. I don't know. I don't know if they're ready. San Fran. I mean, I'm a San Fran fan as well, and I mean, like I said,
Purdy just got all that money too,
right? And they were just plagued last year with injury. So I'd like to see them back. I don't want them winning the Super Bowl because I want the Eagles to win it. But I think with the like you just said, Purdy just got paid, so I think he has something to prove. And I think he will. Hopefully, he will prove it. So, yeah. I mean, I think the Eagles have a really good shot at a repeat.
Okay, fair enough. Listen,
I mean, I think we did our due diligence in the draft. I was worried about our defense, but we picked up some great defensive players, which we saw at the combine as well. We had a couple of people picked out, and yeah, I mean, our offense is solid. Goddard's staying too, which I'm happy about. So even though he was very injured last year because I had him on my fantasy league, so I was very mad at Dallas Goddard last year. But he's staying, and I think we have a solid squad on both sides.
I do. I completely agree with you. What I always concern myself with, especially as the season starts, which is going to be in less than a couple of months.
Yeah, right. It's like less than 100 days. I do have one concern. I'll tell you in a sec, but go ahead.
What is our energy like?
Right.
Because, as I said, we go from being the hunter to being the hunted. Opening night, Dallas is going to try to throw everything they possibly can at us. But again, like you said, what have they done to really progress themselves? All right. Those first 4 games, like I said, minus, I'm just throwing Dallas up because I hate Dallas. People know this. The hell with Dallas.
Yeah.
Kansas City, Los Angeles, Tampa. Any of those 3 games, if we are not up to par with playing our game, our tempo, our style, and remember why we are the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl 59 Super Bowl world champions, these teams are teams that could truly, just not even just mess with us mentally, but also physically. And that's why that's why the first month is so telling for me.
Right.
Because like I said, October, listen, I'm going to ride October and say Denver, that's a win. New York, that's a win. Minnesota, that's a win. New York, that's a win. Then we get our bye week, and then starts the back and forth. Yep. So,
well, right. I'm also a little worried about Keenan Allen. I mean, obviously now head coach of the Saints, and our new offensive coordinator. Like, how is that going to gel with the team? And I mean, that's something we have to take in consideration. And also too, the tush push is on the table. If that gets banned, that's a huge signature move for the Eagles. I don't think it should be banned. It's really, it's a quarterback sneak, and everyone's it's been around forever.
Right.
and everybody can do it if they could actually do it. But the Eagles are really the only team that can actually execute it. So that's why they want to ban it.
Figure it out, people. It's not that difficult. Just figure it out.
Yeah.
But and a lot of people are looking at it from the standpoint of, well, it's not exciting. It's a very mundane or boring play. So it's like, okay, well,
it's effective. It's effective for the Eagles. The other teams can't do it. They can't execute it. That's why they want it banned. It's a jealousy.
Buffalo has tried.
They've tried. Mm-hmm.
They haven't been successful. And listen, yes, it works 92% of the time for us, but there have been moments like that Tampa game,
right,
where they stopped it. So it's like it is possible that play could be null and void for the team that pulls it off, So all right,
it's just
weird. You're going 14-3. I'm gonna go 11-6. We can revisit this as the season gets closer to see if our minds have changed based on anything that we've seen. But Deb, thank you so much for being a part of this. I always love talking Philly with you.
Anytime.
Blonde Blitz. When's the next episode dropping?
We're during preseason. We're gonna start again sometime in August. I don't have the exact date, but we're gonna be on That Sports Podcast Network as well as On Stage Plus and DBTV this season. So we're super excited. Thank you so much. So we're getting there. Going to be a lot of new exciting stuff. Some more new segments. Bringing on some new people. Obviously, you'll be back.
Yeah, I'm definitely coming. Trust me, I'm set and ready to go. I got to get some new. I'm gonna have to do something different for this season since we are Super Bowl champions. I'm gonna have to put something behind me. So
love it.
I'm working on that. I make no promises, but I'm gonna definitely make sure that I have something so that the world knows.
Super Bowl champions.
Exactly.
Go Birds.
Exactly. All right, go Birds. Right. Hey, Deb, thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm gonna definitely holler at you.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Your man Eric Wilson for the Sports Arena. Huge thank you to Deb Whitcas for joining me from the Blonde Blitz. Hey, let's see what happens this season. But one thing is for certain: whether you love us or you hate us, you got to acknowledge the fact that we are. Yes, I'm gonna keep saying it. We are the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl 59 world champions. So to all the haters out there, just get in line. We knew y'all was coming. And to everybody this season who's been rocking with Philly, keep rocking with us because we're going to roll it again and potentially have the opportunity to go back to back. I'm not saying it's going to happen. All I'm saying is the possibility is definitely there, especially with this squad. EAGLES, Eagles. Much love. I'm out. Everybody stay blessed.